Welcome to John chapter 4, looking at the next series of verses from verse 27 through to verse 32. We have the Friday morning men's Bible study doing the study with us today, giving us their light bulb moments of this passage where Jesus is discussing again with his disciples and the woman what it means for him to be the Messiah and have this spiritual food. For me, my sort of light bulb moment is really simple. It's just that simplicity of not having assumptions about how people may respond to the gospel. And therefore, if an opportunity arises, just speak about the faith you have in Jesus. You never know who may actually respond. It may be a woman at a well, it may be a beggar on a street, it may be your brother or sister that you've given up on, or it may be your father or mother who you think are Christians but really are just nominals. Don't give up. Continue to pray. Point people to Jesus and let him reap the harvest from the sowing that you may do.
The funny thing got me is that when the disciples came back, they had questions. They weren't saying, oh good, he's talking to a woman. Instead they were saying, why is he talking to that woman? She's a Samaritan. She's a despised person from a despised group, and she's a woman. So why is he talking to her? But they didn't ask the question, they just sort of thought it. And I wonder how many times we as Christians have thought, about other Christians even, about, well, why them? Why are they being picked out for this, or why are they doing that? And we don't ask those questions necessarily, but we think the thoughts. And the disciples certainly thought the thoughts. What you doing talking to her?
Yeah. He usually will answer them back and say, what are you talking about? But in this instance, he just didn't reply to them. At all about what they said about the woman, why are you talking to her, and so on. He just answered them about the food, that I have food that you know nothing about. But didn't make any comments about why he was talking to her at all, none at all, according to this anyway.
I get the impression, we were talking about that ad earlier about KFC. I think they've sort of come in and thought, oh, hang on, this is one of those KFC awkward moments. Maybe we can rescue Jesus because he's in a very awkward situation, talking to, like you've said, Jeff, someone outside his racial group, someone who was a woman, someone who was at the bottom of the pecking order. Hang on. We've come here because we were hungry, and you're talking to her. And then she asked, could this be the Messiah? And we've sort of all started thinking about, who is the Messiah? What's the meaning of a Messiah? Thank you.
The thing there were a couple of things that I saw is that we can't hide from Jesus. He knows all about us, and there are no secrets. And also, the woman obviously was so impressed with Jesus that she didn't even keep the water she'd come to collect. She went to share Jesus and what he had to say with her relatives and friends.
I think that's important. She actually rushed off to do something. She left the water jar and went, rather than sort of hang around and, she had to go and tell people, which is what happens to many people when they're first converted, isn't it? They tell people, when they get older and cynical, they often stop doing it, but when you first get saved, a lot of people are very enthusiastic, and she raced off to tell people.
And people notice, don't they?
Eh?
What's happened to you?
But the point is,
You've gone religious.
but they listened to her and they came.
Yeah.
And so the words didn't fall on deaf ears, because they actually followed. They didn't say, "Get out of town."
Yeah, but she never even took the water.
That's
That's the part that gets me.
What about yourself, John?
Well, it's just So for me, I just wonder how often I miss opportunities.
But with people such as these ordinary people that he came to, he just made all the time for them to explain and talk and open up, or let them open up to him, rather. And it's just a quality that hardly any of us do have this, or have patience to allow the time for.